Brothers and sisters, Mrs. and Misters, the Dented Cast is coming your way. My name is Dobie Maxwell. This is Max Baumgartner. We are getting this thing. The chops are up. I don't know what gear we're in, but we started with this with an idea. We'd like to thank you for your support. And if you'd like it, please follow us, and hit like, do anything you can, shout it from the rooftops. We're on the air, and no one's going to take us off.
That's right. No one can, except for YouTube, but I still do have all of the episodes on a drive, and so until someone finds that, we're golden.
We are golden, and I know we're helping people because I get emails all the time saying, I listen to your little show. It's always a little show. I listen to your little show, and I like it, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. And one of the things, I was just talking to Dobie before we pushed record, I don't want this to be a poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor
I
me.
do. I want it to be poor me.
He does. But I want to be able to, if you're watching this, in my mind, have you identify with some part of the pain and then be a catalyst or a way out of the pain by sharing some of the stuff that we do, that I do to get out of the pain.
I do nothing.
So anyway, today we're going to go to apologies. Just this is something that Dobie sent me an email on and said, hey, what about this for a topic? And I thought that would be fantastic. And so we're going to talk about apologies right now.
So many people cannot apologize. They can't say it. If you're old enough to remember Happy Days, the Fonz. There's a funny couple of episodes when I was, and you can't say he was wrong. And it was funny, and it was sitcom, but that had to come from somewhere. So whoever wrote that show knew that. And I think sometimes when you hear a sincere apology, and many people haven't, have you? It makes all the difference in the world. And I've got a couple examples, and I know you do too.
Yes, I do. I wanted one from my father before he died that I didn't get. Okay? So instead of, and he died in 2018 in December, instead of being resentful and staying in that hurt, what I did was immediately, on the day of his death, wrote a heartfelt apology to my own children from me.
Outstanding.
And
okay.
And I'll say this right on camera. I was not a good father always. I dealt a lot of times with anger, and both of my kids have had to deal with that. They're both great kids. Thanks in part to my wife, I think, because my wife's very nurturing, and I was gone a lot. I was working all the time. So, during the day, on the weekends, I was gone a lot. And sometimes my kids got to see the worst of me. And I am guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. And I have apologized. And I have told them, I still tell them. And in fact, now they're so sick of me apologizing. They're like, don't need to apologize. How are you? Give me a hug, So, but I want to claim it. And I think it's critical for all of us when we step on someone else's toes or soul to apologize, claim it, and set them free. If you need to apologize to someone, do that. But we're talking about, at least in the first part of this episode, we're talking about receiving an apology, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think what you said is so true there, because our parents a lot of times don't know how to be parents. And as you get to be an adult, you look back and say, okay, this is harder. I get that. And I can't speak for you, but for me, I wanted the same thing from my father. And I saw the situation, okay, maybe it wasn't that easy. And his words to me were, you want an apology? Okay, I'm sorry. There, you happy? Does that change anything? So he was pretty flippant, and it's not any better than your dad did. But I think what you did is say, okay, I understand it's hard to be a parent. I am apologizing. That takes guts to walk through the belly of the beast and say, I did wrong. This has nothing to do with parents. I got an apology from a comedian friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know if he watches this broadcast or not, but it doesn't matter, because he and I got into it. And one thing I'm not proud of is, like, my brother was a martial artist physically. My tongue is, they call me the razor in comp. Don't mess with him. He'll slit you up. And I'm not proud of that, but I could do it. So he did some things that weren't too cool in my eyes. And not only did I shred him, I shredded him in front of everybody. The crew, the gang, the friends, the gangs are all here, and he did his thing. And I just, bam, he fired a BB at me, and I fired about 6 nuclear weapons back at him. And I devastated him and laid him out. And I felt really good about it at the time and didn't think about it anymore. And I didn't talk to him for years. And he called me up out of the blue. Physical phone call. Like I said, didn't recognize the number. Hello, Dobie, this is so-and-so. And I just, like, my blood curdled. I was like, what are you calling me for? He goes, well, I need to talk to you. What are you trying to sign me up for Amway? You know, that razor, that tongue's still out there. He goes, no, I really, really need to talk to you. He goes, it'll be less than 5 minutes, and I promise you that it'll be a good thing, and I really appreciate it if you can make time for me. It takes guts from someone that you haven't talked to in years. We went to a restaurant that he said, and he came over to me. He said, I just want to tell you that I was having some problems in my life, and at that time I was wrong, and you were right, and I'm getting myself clean, and if I don't reach out and give you a handshake of peace, I would really feel bad about myself. And I said, come here, buddy, give me a hug. That took more balls than anybody ever seen in my life. We went in, we had a meal together, we hung out, and that's probably 25 years ago now, and we're not close friends, but a couple times a year we get together, see a ball game, have lunch, and I always tell him how ballsy that was to do that. And he said, well, I just wanted to take control, like you said, take control of my own life. And I felt that I had to apologize to you because I didn't know how you were going to react at all. I said, well, if I wouldn't have reacted, that's on me then. That's major balls to put your hat in your hand and come up to somebody and say, look, I was wrong. I want to look you in the eye and tell you that and say I'm sorry.
Right.
And I think that is totally up to the person getting that apology to say, I respect you, thank you, yes. And you can tell if somebody's sincere or not. I really think so. That was the most sincere apology to this date on any level I have ever gotten.
Well, one of the things that you just said, though, is key. Even if they don't accept it, that's none of your business.
Right, yeah.
None of your business. Because then you're still staying in the it's all about me mode. Because it's not all about you. It's not all about me.
No.
Setting other people free.
It is all about me. But
setting other people free is critical. It's critical, man. You have to. Because really what you're doing is setting yourself free also at the same time. You know, you're not holding that in. We all know when we do wrong. You know when you do wrong. You know when someone fires a BB at you and you have trained verbally, mentally for so many years that it's effortless for you to rip their soul out.
Now, let me tell you this, though. Was there pain coming? I know it's not about me. You're right. The pain in my life that came from all the sources that it did, he stepped on my soul.
Right.
And it wasn't fair to him, I'll give you that, for me to unload on him like that. But he unleashed the dragon. He poked the tiger, and he got a little face full of it in front of everybody. And there are people to this day that remember that and say, God, when you did it to blankety blank, I said, you know what? And they laugh about it. Oh, God, that was so great. No, it wasn't so great. You're totally right. I'm taking responsibility.
So you started that in question mode. What's your question?
My question is, can you apologize? Personally, Max, do you have it in you? A lot of people, I don't think have it in them. I do.
I've been doing it even lately, so yes. But just to kind of unpack what you were saying there with that situation before, there's a lot of things that you said in that sentence. One of them is, well, because of my pain and all the places it came from, he stepped on my soul, okay? And he basically poked the tiger, you know, or threw a match on some gasoline, you know. That's what he did.
Yes.
So you were the judge and jury in that moment, and you said, okay, now I'm going to show you what I can do, and I'm going to destroy you, okay? That's only from pain. That's not from love at all.
Nope.
Because, yes, I do the same thing, and I have done the same thing so many times. I'm trying to step away from that, man. I really am. I'm trying to get to a point where I go, the reason he was, you know, stepping on your soul or saying something and firing BBs is because he feels less around you. That's the reason he was doing it. He feels less around you, so he wanted to kind of bring you down a little bit so he could feel better about himself. Because if you notice, the people who talk about you, they're not the people who are doing better than you in most cases.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're not in most cases. Usually the people that talk about you behind your back are ones that have nothing going on in their own life. And that goes for everybody. That's family. That is people at work. Think about that. The people who really spend time talking about you, what are they doing? Because if they're really making some strides in their own life, guess what? They don't have time to talk about you. You know, And if you offend those people, they'll go, okay, maybe some of what he's saying is true. You know, I had somebody tell me once, real recently, actually, you were an asshole to work with at times. You worked with me. Isn't that true?
No, never once.
Come on.
You were the bee's knees. I was the asshole. I didn't really care about you because I was on the radio.
And you know what?
You just turned the knob on.
I looked at that person's face, and I said, "You're right," and I apologize. I saw a couple that I used to work with in the radio business. You know both of them. I won't name them.
Okay.
I saw them at a wake for another friend of ours' mother. I don't know. It's been a couple months now. And I saw them, and I don't talk to them. We're not really friends. But I'll say this. This is my imaginary friend, according to Dobie. But God put it on my heart to say, go clear the air with them. So they left. I was actually walking toward them. They walked out the door. Okay.
Because you walked over to them?
No, I don't think they saw me. It was a crowded place, a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I got up the courage.
Takes courage.
And
that's the word, too.
Was going to walk over there and say, look, hey, when I worked with you, I wasn't present. And I was a bad person. And you know who you are now. And I apologized to them. And the guy wrote me back. He said, people talk about doing that, but you did it. And he goes, let's start the friendship instead of being resentful. And I was like, wow, that's what we all want, man. That's what we all want. And are you better at taking someone out than anyone else? Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't want to be better at that.
Right. You keep saying that.
I don't.
Right? You keep saying that, but the pain's louder than your wish to discontinue that practice. The pain's louder still.
I'm getting better.
Right.
At holding
okay.
the
Well,
tongue.
we are. That's the whole purpose
No,
of
not
the
everybody
show.
is. We are.
Yeah.
But not everybody is.
Yeah.
I want to go in a different direction if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay. My grandpa told me.
Would you apologize? No, just kidding.
I'm sorry that you're hogging my time on this show. No, but my grandpa always told me, Gramps, I love you so much for all the things that the little nuggets that he gave me. He goes, when you're wrong, not if, but when, you go to the person that you wronged and you claim it. And like you said, you apologize for it, you mention what it is, and you move on. If they don't accept it, again, that's not your fault, you move on. And when I released my book, Monkey in the Middle, in 2015, there were people that I thought that I needed to apologize to. And there were about 6 or 7 of them. And I sent them a copy of the book. They cost me $10 each, and it cost me to mail them. And I wrote sincere letters to each one of them. And 2 of them were national radio hosts that I was on their show, and they threw me out of the studio. I don't have to name their names. It's not important. But it was a big deal to get physically removed from the building. And I said, I'm not bragging that I wrote a book, but there's a lot of pain that is in my life. And I'm not saying you don't have pain in your life, but I just want to say that you don't have to read this, but there's a reason why I behaved how I did. It wasn't right, and I'm deeply sorry. And if you could find it in your heart, don't have to have me on the show again, don't have to invite me over for Thanksgiving dinner, but if you could just forgive me and we could start at 0, I would appreciate that. And out of the 6 or 7, guess how many responses that I got?
How many?
Goose egg, bagel, donut, 0.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they...
It's all right.
No, it is all right. It is all right. But I'm thinking if you or anybody else, and that example I just talked about, that guy came to me with heart in his hand, and I thought I did it the same to them. And I'm thinking, come here, oh my gosh, didn't hear from any of them. So are they? I don't know what the reason was. I thought I was just honest and said that's what it is. Not one of them accepted it. I don't know why. I'm just putting that out there, thinking I really meant everything that I said. If you could, if just one word email, okay, die, hate you, like you, okay. So I don't know. Maybe are people self-absorbed? I don't know how to answer it.
I'm moving away from that, man.
Okay,
it's really weird.
All right,
and it's almost antisocial behavior. Someone could probably say, "Yeah, you're a little too introverted now." I'm moving away from the need for approval from others. I really am. And it used to be, I don't give a shit what they think, but I really did, like most of us do. But I'm truly moving away from it. I'm truly moving away from it. And that's for everyone, not just it's blood, it's close friends, it's strangers, it's employers. I'm moving away from it. And how I'm doing it, and I slip up, how I'm doing it is I'm just aware of what I'm doing and in control of what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and not expecting somebody else to make me feel better, because it's not their job. It's my job.
Let me chew on that a little bit, Jasper. That's pretty interesting. And I think we all need to get to at least some part of, there's not enough time, like you said, there's not enough time to worry about others' lives if there's 24 hours in a day is not a lot of time.
Right.
To work on our own thing takes a lot of effort. Is there a fine line somewhere? I don't know. I guess, and what you said, I never cared what people thought about me. I really didn't. So that guy that I blew up in his face, I didn't care what he thought of me. You want windshield wipers? There you go. Boom, 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 boom. And not thinking of the ripples that I caused in his life. I took him out, man. Mm-hmm. Emasculated him in front of people. So what? You're an asshole.
But what you don't know, that's your blind spot, and I know as a friend, is that how you are perceived by most people is that you're really kind, and that you really do care about people. That's how you're really perceived by most people, except for people like that who are like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know?
Yeah, but see, those ripples go a lot farther than the kindness does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's louder. I mean,
it's way louder.
But you just touched on why the news is the way it is, why Facebook is the way it is, why Instagram is the way it is, because negativity sells. It does. Mm-hmm. Kindness doesn't sell. You don't hear stuff on the news. I mean, ABC News now is just now trying to do it. At the end of their newscast, they will put something really heartfelt, and it's amazing. And oftentimes, if we're watching it, oftentimes we'll like glaze up, tear up. Why is that? Because we're just so used to getting pounded by just negative, horrible things, and we can't wait. We can't wait. We're programmed genetically. We really are to migrate toward the negative.
Sure. So on the Dented Cast, we try to go in a good direction and have positive. So thank you. This is a good one.
Yeah, well, and that's why we don't have any viewers or subscribers.
Yes. We have 5s of listeners and 6s of viewers. So please help spread the word. Like us, subscribe to us would be a really good thing. And then when we're stopping a robbery and we get in the paper, that's when the viewers, those guys are dead. They got a great show. Too bad they're dead. So,
right.
While we're living, we love you. Thank you.
Don't wait on an apology. Give them instead, because that works. Set yourself free. Thanks for watching. This is the Dented Cast.
I apologize for Max.